Yeah, you can start.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Just here with James. We got the simple plan that we made in February. It's 50% market share in Ride and North Ride. 1,000 social media, or let's just say 1,000 contacts in the database by the end of the year. 50% market share to achieve by 9th February 2026. So it's the 7th of April right now. So it's been nearly 2 months since we've started this. Now let's go over, James, and see, because obviously consistency is key with everything. Let's put on this board, see what we've been very consistent at, and see if these goals, or these mini goals as well, have been achieved, and if we're going to get there at the moment, if we're on track. Let's do a accountability meeting today, okay? So, I'm going to circle in red what we've been very consistent. I'll put a dot actually. So I think we've been quite consistent with the gym every morning. Been consistent with the swimming. We've been consistent with the morning videos. Have we been consistent getting into the office before 9? Yes,
indeed.
we have. I think we've been quite consistent in what we've been doing in the office in terms of paperwork. I don't think our paperwork is what's maybe putting us off track. I won't go into details, but I think other things in the office have been distracting us, right, James? So I think going to the office has been consistent. Has eating lunch been consistent for us?
Yes.
Yes. James and I have been actually having some very nice lunches.
No question.
That's been consistent. Okay. Saturday callbacks, has that been consistent?
On Mondays, yeah, we
Yeah.
have. Yeah. We
Okay.
have been
So this is consistent. Playing golf on Wednesday, has that been consistent?
Never a question. Never a doubt.
Yeah, that's
Rain,
very
hail,
consistent.
shine.
Okay. Now, this is the interesting bit. Because I feel we're off track. Even though this stuff that I've done has been consistent. But I think everything in terms of the numbers hasn't been consistent. Because if we look at the smaller goals, for February, have we done the weekly drops?
Not consistent though.
I think for February we have been consistent for the weekly. The monthly CMA for February, I think we did do that consistently. The fortnightly letter, I don't think we even did it. So this is a failure. For March, we stopped doing the drop, right? We stopped the CMA and we haven't done the letter yet. So March, in terms of the numbers that we've done in terms of prospecting, that's been a bit of a failure. It hasn't been consistent. For our goals, we said that if we connect to 50 people per day, and we should be aiming for 2 appointments per day. That equals 200 connections per week, 8 appointments per week. That's 10,000 per year connections, 416 appointments per year, right? I think in the past 2 months, we've connected to 50 people for 2 months. I think we've only had 10 appointments, really, face to face, because that's where the magic happens, right? Face to face appointments. Doesn't matter how many people we call, it's about how many face to face appointments we get, right? I think for the past 2 months we've averaged 50 connects and only 10 appointments, so that's 5 per month. We set off to do 2 appointments per day. Obviously things weren't going to happen magically at the start, right? So this is really, I think, as bad as it gets, but we need to acknowledge what we haven't done. And that's consistency in the stuff that we don't want to do. Because I think going to the gym, swimming, the videos, going to the office, having lunch, playing golf, only on Wednesday, have been consistent because it's something that we look forward to do,
Yeah.
but we haven't been consistent in doing the.
Things that we don't look forward
That's
to.
uncomfortable, right? So, we've acknowledged what we've done wrong.
Yeah.
We were going to do this at the end of April, but now it's the beginning of April, so I'm glad that we're doing this quite early and we're catching on. We need to get back on track. So, let's rub all this out. Rub. You can fast forward this, right? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna admit there's been a lot of distractions out of our control, and we're not going to tell everyone what's been happening, but it's been quite distracting, right, James? What's been going on? But we've found a solution for things. But regardless of distractions or what happens in the background, the goal never changes.
Yeah.
So I haven't rubbed out the goal. I think what we were doing is not right because it's put us off track. So we need to redo the schedule, and maybe we'll sit down at the end of April or mid-May, and then we'll go and see what's happened. So let's do. Okay.
I guess in a way for the audience to understand as well, like we shouldn't be so strict. Well, it's important to be consistent, right? No,
Yes.
it's important to be consistent. But how we remain consistent, should we remain flexible in terms of that?
What do you mean by that?
As in, like, we have to create a schedule that will allow us to be consistent.
Well, of course. I think what we were doing was putting unnecessary pressure, and we didn't really define. We thought we were defining things,
Yeah.
but we were actually not defining things properly. So that's the negative of it.
Yeah.
So we identified the problem. Now we're going to come up with a solution to fix it. So what's the solution that we've come up with? So let's just go over the daily schedule or routine. Can you write 6 all the way to 6? So 6 to 6 doesn't change, okay? 6 a.m., 7, 8. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just write.
And then swim. Okay. Go. Right, MV. Okay. All right, office. Okay. Try and level it out, and then maybe write office at 11.
Office 2
Yeah,
11.
no, yeah, just go. Just write office here. and then down there, and then just right away. Right. Okay. Right in red lunch.
Lunch is for 12.
Yep. Okay. Now, in just red writing on the whole thing, I want you to write one word here: prospecting. So prospect. Okay. So, I think keeping it quite simple is very important.
Yeah.
So I feel like in terms of the 6 o'clock in the morning to 12 p.m., what we call AM energy, I think that's where we have to have our daily routines impact, get our daily habit right, always get to the office early, go to the office, do the paperwork, get all that stuff out of the way, have lunch, finish, and then go out and prospect. But in terms of what exactly we're going to do from 12 at lunch to 6 p.m. finish, we're going to have some goals. So it's been quite negative for the first 12 minutes.
Yeah.
What are some positive changes that we've made? What are some of the things, James, that we've realized and we've changed?
Well, obviously, like when we start, we don't know what to expect. And as we began to do our prospecting,
What was wrong with our first drop? What did you not like about the first drop? Yeah, what was the first encountering of problems we had? What was wrong with the first drop? Why did we stop in the middle of dropping?
well, we realized it was ineffective.
Ineffective. Why? The writing was too small. The marketing was useless in regards to when there was a letterbox full of agents' material and putting it in. Did you have a good feeling or a bad feeling?
Bad feeling.
Why? Because it looks the same, right? It's not effective. So what's the point of doing it, right? So what's the changes that we made?
Well, in terms of our strategy, overall strategy,
What's the magazine we work? What's it called? The magazine we worked on.
the Luxury Years magazine,
Okay. The monthly. Luxury is magazine.
and
Okay.
now like I'm trying to like pinpoint our main pain point with the issue with our droppings.
Yeah.
And I guess like the main pain point was we discovered that we weren't giving any value to
That's right.
the person we were giving the drops to.
So our drops and our marketing was adding no value.
Yeah.
But now this magazine, which we're going to be dropping every month now, and which is getting printed as we speak, and we're going to chase up today to say when is it going to be delivered, because when we get this monthly magazine, which we're going to obviously change
Yeah.
to add value,
Yeah.
we're going to drop this monthly. We're going to drop it personally. Right? Which equals door knocking. Okay. What's one of the things that we've tried to do in terms of the businesses in the area through the magazine? What are we going to do?
Well, we want to also provide value to the community by
Advertising for
advertising for free for businesses, local businesses.
free in the magazine, right? So there's 1,000 magazines we're going to drop off every month, right? So we're going to door knock the residents personally. And then we're going to approach businesses for free advertising, right? So we're going to connect to 1,000 people a month. We're going to connect to, let's say, how many businesses should we try and connect to per week? Realistically,
I would say one.
one business. Let's say 2 businesses per week, which means that's times 4.
That's 8 businesses per month.
Yeah, 8
8
per month.
local businesses per month.
per month. This is per month. I also decided yesterday that I'm going to advertise on the golf course. Okay? And we're gonna do advertisement in the Korean newspaper. Okay? I still think we should do weekly drop. The new drop.
The new drop. What's the new drop?
The one that with bigger, more legible,
Yeah.
more effective. More effective.
So, would we be able to do that in the same time we do the monthly?
Yes, correct. So when I drop the magazine and I door knock, you will slip a drop in the mailbox.
Yeah.
So we're not doing things twice or 3 times.
Yeah.
When we go out in the afternoon, we will just slowly, one by one, give them a drop and that.
Yeah.
Then they go to the golf course and they'll see me. And then they'll see maybe our magazines in the local businesses. And then if they're Korean, they'll see them in the newspaper again. And we'll start there.
Yeah.
So we'll try this to keep us accountable in terms of daily things. We have a daily area, right? So I think there's 5. Let's do 10 areas.
10 areas.
So you know how I split up the area, right?
Yeah.
So let's do this. A, B, C, D, E. F, G, H, I,
J.
J. So let's split Ride and North Ride into 10 areas so we don't get disheartened because it's quite tough walking out there, right? But if we just do one zone every afternoon properly, I think we might get some better results.
Of course.
And this is the killer. Face to face meetings per week. How many face-to-face meetings should we be trying to look for? Because there's no point doing all this if we're not asking the question. Face-to-face meetings. How many should we be doing?
Well,
Per
what
week.
was our original intended face-to-face meetings we wanted?
I think, just to start us off, very easy, right? Let's do 5 per week.
Okay, that sounds realistic.
5 per week will equal to 20
per month.
per month, which will ultimately get us into 1,000 people on the database and puts us on the right track to 50% market share.
Yeah.
Because it starts off with 5 per week, 20 per week. This is the hardest because it's the smallest, coldest area, right?
Yeah.
But when we warm these people up and then they refer us and then we keep getting that ball rolling,
Yeah.
hopefully by this date, we are at that place.
Mm-hmm.
How does it sound?
Sounds good to me.
So, anything you change or anything that you don't agree on here?
That's good. That's progress in some way. If you come across any OTs, let me know, bro. I'm getting a bit desperate.
I think I agree with everything now. It's
Okay.
just getting it done now.
So one of the dreams that I have is, and I think one of the biggest killers of the first plan, would you agree, James, that it's distraction? We've been distracted
Distractions that we couldn't control.
and we haven't been doing dollar productive activity. We've been busy, we haven't
Yeah.
been lazy.
Yeah.
Do you agree? It's not like we haven't been working hard,
Yeah.
but we've been working hard on the wrong things. So we're going back on track and we're going to work hard on the right things.
Yeah.
But I think that you and me have higher standards than most people. Not bragging, but we've been consistent at waking up early. We've been consistent at eating. I actually want to change my diet as well, but that's for a separate video. But I want to hit these goals like we're in the military. I want precision. I don't want laziness. I want it very, very sharp.
Yeah.
The fact that also I have to take responsibility as the leader of this team
Yeah.
to have also been part of the distraction. But I think, let's do another meeting for the end of May.
Well, then also like the questions I have now is like maybe also for the audience listening. Let's say we have this designated plan now, but well, the reality could be that there could still be distractions after lunch. So,
Like what?
well, there could be like
So you've been with me for
Yeah.
2 months, and now you know what kind
Yeah.
of distracts us. Give me some examples of what has distracted us without saying too much.
well, there are often like situations where we have to go to a certain house as a team, or
But that's okay though, James, because that one is more about the connections. We'll count that as a face-to-face meeting. But if
the biggest distraction, I guess, would be
useless coffees, right?
yeah.
Okay. So if someone asks us to have coffee between the times of 1 to 6 and it's not a face-to-face meeting, what do we say?
Absolutely no.
Yeah, because when the military are on their mission and they've got a goal, do they get distracted?
No.
Are they very focused on the goal, on the mission?
Yeah.
I think we have to get that same culture, that same energy into putting to this.
Yeah.
And at the end of May, let's see what the results get.
Okay.
Let's promise to do this in terms of the, precision and that kind of work. And if it doesn't work, then we'll sit down again and do this for maybe a third time.
Yep.
Sounds good?
Yep.
All right, let's get